our first Grand Prix in a couple of weeks and our last Grand Prix until May. It's weird to say, but that's what we're looking at, Tim. This is kind of a crazy season. Obviously, 2 Middle East races, Jeddah and Bahrain, canceled this year due to what's going on with between the United States, Israel, and Iran. So this is going to be our last race until the Miami Grand Prix, which I know you're going to be at. But it's weird because Miami just feels like, oh, now the season's underway, but it really won't be. And when we talk about Melbourne and then China, 2 vastly different tracks, and Japan is too. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get a sense of where these cars are at.
Yeah, big time. I think it's another one of those stories that revolves around this regulation, right, Adam? Like we saw in Australia, really energy starved circuit. Then in China, we saw something a little bit different where you're kind of on the maximum end of that harvesting of energy. Now we're going to a circuit like Japan, which kind of feels like it's in the middle a little bit. It feels like it's a little closer towards what Australia was. And I think as we keep moving throughout these races, we're going to be learning more and more about these cars and this regulation. But yeah, it is pretty shocking, that the 4th race is Miami and then the 5th race is Canada. I'm so used to the Canadian Grand Prix being like race 8 or race 9 in the season, and we've had a chance to really get a taste for the cars, the regulation, who's strong where, who's strong on what. But I mean, by the time we get to Canada, Adam, I think the Canadian Grand Prix could be one of those classics, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's good to hear also. I mean, Tim, given Canadian weather, especially Montreal weather in late May, it could be snowing that weekend. You have no idea.
I keep telling a lot of European colleagues that I've worked with, and especially when we were in Bahrain, and everyone kept asking me so what's Canada like in May? And I'm like, well, it depends what part of Canada you're in, right? Canada's friggin' huge. We're an Arctic nation. You go to Montreal, it's going to be a lot further north than where you and I are living right now. We're very southern. We're one of the southern tips of Canada, and so it's a little bit warmer where we live, and you go up to Quebec and into Montreal, it gets a little bit colder. The snow stays a little bit longer. And so I remember going to some Canadian Grand Prix, and I want to say it was probably 2015 or 2016. It was one of those 2 years. I just can't remember. I want to say it's 2016. And I remember that race because I was working the event, and I thought it was going to snow at that race. And it was in June, Father's Day for us in Canada. It was in June, 2nd or 3rd week of June, usually when it normally is. And so if we get something similar to that in May, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I hope that's not the case, but we will deal with that problem or cross that bridge when we get there on our journey through this F1 season. Only 22 races on the calendar instead of 24. And Suzuka offers a lot of different things for cars, but we're gonna save that, put a pin in that for a second. And we're going to talk about an investigation that's going on with the top car on the grid, the Mercedes car. It's just come out today, Tim, that there is an investigation into something with the car. And is something illegal here? And I want to know if this is a big story, a medium story, or a tiny story that's one of those things that it's just out there and then we'll move on. How serious is this investigation?
Yeah, I think I'll reference it with some videos that were floating around social media following the Chinese Grand Prix. And I want to say that those videos are probably still circulating now. And it's a video of Kimi Antonelli. And the video in particular shows that when the front wing is closing, coming out of straight mode, it shows 2 different sets. It shows a set where the wing closes normally, then it shows another set where the wing is closing a little slower. Now, there was a report that had come out. Actually, there was a couple. There was one that originated out of Italy, and then there was another one that came out of motorsport.com saying that the wing itself was going to be under investigation by the FIA, and it's it could be like a controversial two-phase front wing actuators that the FIA was going to investigate. So I spoke to one of my sources at Mercedes earlier today, and they were telling me that essentially the story is not particularly accurate.
Oh,
it's more of a reliability issue that the front wing was suffering at the Chinese Grand Prix, and that there is no official investigation that is taking place. The FIA is just ensuring that Mercedes have fixed the issue with the front wing, especially heading to a track like Suzuka. They want to make sure that everything is working fine there, because they've allowed a straight line mode to be activated coming out of Spoon and heading towards 130R, which is a very long straightaway, but leads into an extremely high speed corner. And so I think that the main thing is to make sure that whatever was wrong with it has been fixed, because if it fails going through 130R, I mean, it could end up in a very big accident. So
right.
I think the real question here is, like, if it's the Italian media that has, come up with the report first, you have to wonder where it's coming from. And right. I think some people at Mercedes believe that it's originating from Ferrari. No one has, the sources I've spoken to haven't directly said that, but that is where my mind sort of, goes immediately.
Of course,
and it might be wrong, right? I might be, the way I think about this might be totally off. But it is quite interesting that it did originate in Italy, and I think this opens up a wider picture, Adam, that I think if it's true, I think Ferrari believes that they have a shot at winning this championship this season.
Well, and Tim, I love that the media is getting involved in that, and maybe the Italian media is trying to get in there and mix it up. Like, if that's the case,
for
hell
sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
it's good for us, right?
Yes.
It's good for us.
Yes. And you know what, Tim? I think they do have a good chance. I mean, obviously, we saw Lewis on the Hamilton. Wow, I've had a long day. We saw Lewis on the podium last race in China, but I think more importantly, and this is so key, that little turbo that they have that fires them like a slingshot off the line, that is so key to winning a race. And Lewis and Charles are obviously two of the fastest drivers on the track right now, but they're both great defensively as well. So if they can figure out some of the weaker areas that they have against Mercedes, because frankly, the Mercedes car has just been overwhelming, even for Ferrari to contain. If they could just make little bits of tweaks and that sort of thing, and beat Ferrari through the corners, maybe find a little more straightaway speed, which is what everybody's going after. Easier said than done. This could be a Ferrari championship, and our first since Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh yeah, big time. Like, it's great points that you make. I think when you talk about some of the ingenuity that Ferrari has done with this particular car, I mean, it's exciting to see that, because we haven't really seen, neat innovation on these cars in quite some time. I mean, DAS is one of those things that comes back into my mind when I talk about interesting ingenuity that teams have come up with. I remember, seeing that at the Barcelona test session back in, I think it was 2020. And, Lewis Hamilton pulling back on the steering wheel, and then the front toe of the tire starting to come, the camber on the tire starting to come in. And I remember that just broke the racing world when that happened. The Macarena wing has been really cool to see, but I think the biggest thing, Adam, is the size of the turbo that Ferrari has decided to run with this season, and the success that they're having with it. And even when Fred Vasseur even signaled to everybody on the grid saying, like, hey, we need to run smaller turbos if you want to get good starts with this particular regulation that we're in, and nobody really listening to the man whatsoever. And then on the other side of it, you've got two really hungry drivers. I mean, Lewis looks fantastic in this regulation, this car set. It really does suit him. And I think when you've got a 7-time world champion, one of the greatest of all times, really hungry like he looks right now, I mean, if you're George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, that's got to put pressure on you. It's got to make you worried.
Yeah.
And then
you got to try to stack as many points away as you can early, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%. And that's why, I think we, we see Mercedes, batting down issues like regulation change or doing changes with energy management. And I mean, those things, they're going to have to be discussed, and we'll get into that in a minute. But, things like that, right? Like you see Toto and everybody pushing back on things of that nature so they can try and hold on to their advantage. Because I think they know that, Ferrari has a really good race car, really good race car. If they can get that 2% upgrade that they'll need for their power unit, which is called the ADUO. So essentially showing that you're 2% down on your internal combustion engine with Mercedes, which I think Ferrari seems very confident that they can prove, then all they need is a fix here and a fix there. And they probably have an equal power unit to Mercedes. So things are very, very close in that regards. And I do think that, I really feel that Ferrari thinks that they can win this thing. And look, if Lewis Hamilton can win his 8th world championship with Ferrari, I mean, that, Adam, is worth, you tell me. It's worth
Tim,
everything.
I think we all, and I'm not a Ferrari fan, right? I'm not a card-carrying member of the Tifosi. I know that Hayden, our producer, is. Oh, yeah. Jesse, who works on one of our other shows, many of our other shows, actually, Jesse Blake, is a Lewis Hamilton fan, therefore followed him to Ferrari. I think we all kind of want to know what that might feel like.
Hey, you there. Did you like that video? Would you like to see more? If you like what Nailing the Apex has to offer, you should check out more of our content and subscribe to our Nailing the Apex channel by clicking the subscribe button.